Canadians, a lot of which I will probably validate as you get to know me. For example, in Table Topics a month ago, our leader Ed discussed the use of the word "a" in Canadian vocabulary. And that's one I actually use a lot, But while discussing that might make for an interesting speech topic, I will instead talk about 3 transitions that happened in my life to bring me here. The transition from home to school, from school to work, and work to South Florida. We can fast forward through much of the first 17 years of my life because it went by without any major changes or transitions. Not much happens in the town of Gilbert Plains, Manitoba. Sounds good. A town of 1,000 people in the middle of the Canadian prairie. A town where I had to drive 20 minutes to go to a grocery store, 45 minutes to a movie theater, 2 hours to a decent mall, and most importantly, 4 hours to watch a professional sports game. This was a town where my graduating grade 12 high school class was 13 people. And so at the end of my high school years, I thought, yeah, I really need to get out of this town. And I set out to London, Ontario, Canada's 10th largest city, to pursue my tenure when I was 10 years old, to pursue that kid's dream of working at a software company. The University of Western Ontario was a little bit of a scary place, considering where I came from. I was moving not only to a school where I didn't know anyone, but also a big city and a big province where I didn't know anyone either, 1,500 miles away from my hometown. But this transition was actually the most easiest of the 3 that I'll discuss today because of all the great people that I met there. My roommate was from Egypt. The guy down the hall was training in the Canadian Army. And I soaked up everything from my 8 a.m. calculus classes to even my history classes. It would have been easy to get lost in the shuffle of a school of 35,000 students, plus 10,000 faculty members on campus every day, 45 times bigger than my own hometown. But it was all the great people that made that transition really easy. So at the end of the 4 years of school, I graduated in 2006 and got a job at Research in Motion, and became a contributing member to society by paying a lot of taxes. A lot of you may not know RIM, the company, but you know our product. If you use a smartphone from Microsoft, Apple, or Android, you have RIM to thank for it. Because in the year 2000, this small Canadian company invented BlackBerry, which was at its time the first smartphone in the world. And there I was, reaching my 10-year-old goal of working at a software company as employee number 6,083. I was a software tester, and I got paid, basically, to take a product off the shelf and try to break it, and I got paid for it. And so this was a transition from hard work and cramming for exams at school to basically playing in a candy store. I got to evaluate the latest products before anyone else in the world got to see them. My grade 10 business teacher always said, if you find a job you like, you will never work a day in your life. And I certainly felt that way about my job at RIM. I still do. The most recent transition, and actually the biggest one, was started about a year ago when my fiance, now my wife, and I decided that I would take an internal job transfer and relocate to our Sunrise office here in Florida. This was the hardest transition so far because it involved moving from being fiancés to being a married couple, from owning a house to renting an apartment again, and from having a close network of family and friends back in Canada, basically in our own backyard, to starting all over again fresh here in Florida. But we've already had a lot of great experiences here in South Florida so far, and I'm sure we'll have many more until my next major transition, which will hopefully take me somewhere completely new again. Thank you.